Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful day. It really is a beautiful day. Before I start today, I just want to invite you to a really special evening that we're going to have tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's on this link. If you don't have a link, you can private message me or you can go to theloverabbi.com and email me. We're going to have Rabbi David Eliezri, who is the author of a brand new newly released Undaunted on the life of Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson. We're going to be talking about his teachings. We're going to be talking about Kabbalah, really amazing mystical ideas, and also trauma and life and how to get through difficult moments. And so that's tonight at 8 p.m. And you're invited, and we'd love to see you there in person. As the usual, we're going to have a recorded conversation, and then afterwards the real exciting Q&A and the back and forth that won't be recorded, as we do here on in this class also. And for those of you who are listening afterwards, you should know we're here in person and you're welcome to join us just almost every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. So today I want to talk about gratitude in difficult times. The the world feels insane right now. I don't know about you, but I can just tell you from my experience, some days it feels like the ground is wobbling under my feet. Too much news, too much sadness, too much noise, too much uncertainty. And I wake up in the morning and there's this beautiful prayer that I say, the prayer of Moda Ani, where no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's happening, I wake up and say thank you. Thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for a new day. And I would say it's a wild and almost rebellious habit that no matter what's going on in the world, we say thank you anyway. Like, why am I saying thank you? For what? For this mishigas? For this insanity? And it's not only when we wake up, we say thank you when we eat. We say thank you when we make it out of the bathroom in one piece. We say thank you simply for being alive another day. And I wonder why. Why is it disingenuous? Maybe it's not a real thank you because really I'm not feeling like a thank you type of day. And I'm going through a difficult moment. So why should I say thank you anyway? There's a beautiful Kabbalistic idea that we say thank you because gratitude is how we stay human when the world gets heavy. I'll just say it again. Gratitude is how we stay human when the world gets heavy. And to understand this gift, I want to turn to one of the greatest teachers of gratitude, our mother, Rachel, our matriarch, Rachel Imeinu. If you look into the Torah this week, into this week's Torah portion, Rachel, who has been waiting and praying for a child for years, she finally gives birth. Her her sister Leah had already had a number of children, and she had been childless. And she finally gives birth. And what does she say? What are the words that come out of her mouth when she says? She says, God has taken away my shame. Shame? God has taken away your shame, Rachel? Why? Why shame? What did she do wrong that she has shame? Why is childlessness shame? And the Midrash gives a surprising answer. It says, when someone doesn't have children, there's no one else to blame when things go wrong. But when you do have a child, the Midrash says, you can say, who broke the plate? The kid. Who made the mess? The kid. Now, really? I mean, it sounds silly. Come on. Like almost like a joke. I'm sure we can give us 5 minutes in this room and we can create a really good joke out of this. But Kabbalah shows us something deeper. Rachel wasn't happy to blame her child. She was happy to be blessed at all. She was saying, if there's a mess in my home, it means I have a home. If there are crumbs on the floor, it means I have a child. If something breaks, it means I'm alive enough and blessed enough to have something break. It's not about the mess. I grew up in a way where if something broke, it was a big deal. There was some kind of somebody saying something. Oh, and then I married Sarah, my wife. And early on in our marriage, I remember like one of our new plates, we just gotten married, and one of our new plates just kind of smashed on the floor. And she smiled and laughed. And she's like, how great is that? Listen to that sound. And I'm thinking to myself, because my immediate reaction is, that was a good plate. Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling? And she's like, it's just a plate. It's just, it's just something. Now that I've written this book on forgiveness, and some people who have, it's not out yet, it's coming out in January, and some people who have read it, I keep on getting people telling me their stories of forgiveness. Somehow I became like the depository of people's stories of forgiveness. And so I was in the airport last week, and I met uh, a friend who randomly was in Montreal, and I walk into the airport, and he looks at me. He's like, "I can't come to Montreal without seeing you." Unbelievable. I thought I'd be able to get in and out without seeing you. And so he asked me what's going on. So I told him that I just wrote this book and it's coming out. And I had a one of the galleys with me. So he started looking at it. He said, "Let me tell you a story." He said he grew up in the projects in New York. His family was not well to do. And one day he was about 9 years old, and him and his brother were roughhousing in the kitchen. And on the wall, his mother had one of the plates from their wedding. And what she had done with it, which I guess was popular at the time, or maybe not, but this is what she had done as a memento. She took a plate from their actual wedding celebration, and she had engraved their invitation on the plate. So it was a very beautiful piece. And they were roughhousing, and he was on the back of his brother, and they went up quick, and the plate fell off the wall, and it smashed into 1,000 pieces. And right away, he went over to his mother. "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And she looks at him and says, "It's just a plate. How are you?" And he said, "This story happened 65 years ago." And he knows it destroyed his mother inside, and she was very attached to that memento, but that she was able to rise above that and taught him. She said, the value that she taught him in that episode, he's like, "Look at me. Here I am, 65 years later, telling this story." That's how valuable this story was. And this episode, he's like, I know it bothered my mother. I know what I did, but that she was able to rise above the plate and appreciate me and ask, who are you? What are you doing? How are you? He said, I'll never forget it. And I think about this when I think about the story of Rachel and shame. A broken plate, a noisy house. A noisy house, it means someone loves you enough to be in your space. A messy couch means children climbed on you today. A sink full of dishes means you had food to eat. A long to-do list means that your life matters to people, that you're not alone. And gratitude is this funny thing because often it's a platitude, not really a gratitude. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a platitude. But gratitude is not blind positivity. It's noticing the gift behind the challenge. And this, Rachel wanted her child to know so deeply that she named him after it. She named him Joseph or Yosef, which means to add or to increase, meaning life is messy, but even the mess is part of the blessing. This has been a huge learning for me in my life, not to sweat the small stuff, to see the mess as a blessing, to see the times I'm overwhelmed as a gift because I have a lot to do in this world. And of course, there are going to be times I'll be overwhelmed because my mission and my purpose in this world is great. That Joseph that was born to Rachel went through unbelievable pain and trauma. His brothers sold him. A false accusation sent him to jail. He spent years forgotten in a dungeon. And he himself never became bitter or angry. He forgave. He loved. He grew. He kept rising. Because Joseph grew up hearing this from his mother. And I'll paraphrase this statement and I'll make it something that maybe we can carry. That if something difficult, if something hard is happening, it must mean God is building something beautiful underneath. There's a story I heard as a child. I think it was in the 60s. There was a psychologist, it was the heyday of psychologists' uh, tricks, the famous marshmallow test. So there was another test that some psychologists did, and I can look it up at some point. Maybe you can, where he took a child that was prone to um, negativity, that had a negative outlook on the world, and put him in a room full of the newest and most amazing toys for an hour, and took a child that had a positive outlook and put him in a room full of horse manure for an hour. He came back an hour later and he opened the door, and the child that was in the room full of toys is crying. Crying. He said, "What are you crying?" He said, "Because these are great toys." He said, "There's great toys here. Play with the toys." He's like, "I know that in an hour I'm not going to have any of these toys, and I'm just crying because I love these toys so much and I just want the toys." He opens the door to the room with this child that he put in there with horse manure. And at first he doesn't see him. And then out of nowhere, the kid jumps up out of the manure, throwing it up in the air, and then dives back in. And he looks at the child and says, "What are you doing?" He says, "You can't fool me. With all this crap, there's got to be a pony somewhere. It's just an outlook. It's putting the emphasis on the right syllable. And sometimes we just need that alignment, that reminder that if something difficult is happening, there must be a pony somewhere. There must be a God building something beautiful underneath. And that is the spiritual DNA that Rachel passed down to us. Our mother, we call her Mama Rachel, our mother. These are not random stories of random people. Our relationship to these people is this is our ancestry. Just I think about this so often that if somebody came to me and offered me a gift and said, I have a secret for you. Your great 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 grandmother knew my great 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 grandmother. And they went into hiding. And before they went into hiding, she gave us a photo album of all of your great 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 grandparents and your relatives. Probably most of whom I don't even know their names. And here you are. I've been holding it for all these years. It's been passed down in generations, and we've been taking care of it for you. And here I have a gift for you. I have a gift for you. I mean, what would I do? What would I do to try to find out who are these people? These are my ancestors. These are where I come from. These are people who lived and died so I can be here. I would cherish it and hold it. I would care for it. I would find out who they are. I would try to look into find more who are these people? Well, that's what this book is. This book, it's just there were no pictures in those days. So what did we get? We got words. The stories. We know the stories. We know these people. These are not just random figures. They're not archetypes. They are this is Mama Rachel. This is our mother. And we know what she taught us. Our great, 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 great grandmother. She taught us something. And we know what she taught us. And she passed down this beautiful gift. I'm not on an island alone. I'm not a just this random person that is going through life trying to figure it out. I have the wisdom of ages, the wisdom of my ancestors that carries me, the wisdom of Mama Rachel. And yeah, it's especially when life is difficult, like now, when life hurts that I think about that and I carry that. Gratitude isn't pretending that everything is fine. It's not pretending that it's all wonderful. That's not our version of this world. We don't live in a perfect world, and we're not supposed to live in a perfect world. And the desire for perfection is not our value. Gratitude is remembering if I'm breathing right now, it means that God still needs my light in this world, that God still needs me because I'm breathing, because it's a beautiful day and I have another day of life. There's a purpose, and I'm not alone. Gratitude, it doesn't erase the pain, but I think it keeps the pain from swallowing me, from getting sucked into the vortex of the pain, thinking that it's a bottomless pit, thinking that it's never going to end. It's just too much. It's coming at me. It's too difficult. It allows me to stop. So here's the shift, and it's difficult. It's easy for me just to say it, but actually today when you have a moment, because we know that moment will come, to be able to to think about it and to stop. So first stop and not get sucked into it, not get sucked into the victim mentality, and to make that shift. The kids made a mess. Thank God I have kids. My mother needs help again. Thank God she's here. I have endless work emails. Thank God someone values what I'm doing. My partner is late. My partner's stressed. Thank God I have a partner. I don't think it's minimizing the struggle. It's just expanding the meaning behind it. There's a story of the great Reb Zusha of Anapol. The great Reb Zusha of Anapol, he was he had a beautiful positive outlook. And there's so many stories of his positive outlook and kind of his reframe. So one of those stories is he was once starving. He was a poor man. He lived in impoverished. And he was starving and he prays to God. He says, "Thank you, God, for giving me an appetite." That was his prayer. I think only someone who sees the blessing, even inside pain, can speak that way. But, and I don't want to, I don't, but, and I don't want to just let this go because when we're in a difficult moment, in a difficult time, we can't just, it's hard to just take that. It's great. I mean, to be Reb Zusha, to be Mama Rachel, to be able to have that reframe, it's a beautiful thing, but not everything is good. And we're not asked for perfection. We're not asked to say that everything is good. We are asked to remember that God is still with us inside the struggle, that the same God who gives us gifts also gives us struggles. And the same God is still with us. And I like that. You see, there's I'm not going into other mythologies and philosophies, but many other mythologies and philosophies cannot have the same God that's good and bad. Cannot have the same God that it gives gifts and is there in the struggle. But as a monotheist, understanding there's one God, one singular force inside of us that is also bestowing goodness and also there with us in the struggle. We're not alone. And as long as God is with us, there's hope. For many of us, we had to make choices and we were alone. And maybe it was at a time when we didn't have the ability and the wisdom to discern. And so today, as adults, we still kind of revert to that child, to the 7-year-old. And the 7-year-old is neglected and alone and making choices that 7-year-olds shouldn't make. And that's sometimes, for some of us, our natural spot to go is to back to that 7-year-old making those choices. And then we get all frazzled and like, oh no, how do I do this? And part of this is to go into the struggle and take that 7-year-old with us and say, I have a secret for you. You're not 7 anymore. And I'm here and I have the wisdom of age and I'm the adult. So I can take you, 7-year-old child, with me and we can make good choices together. And that's in that way we see God, where God is with us in the struggle. We can see there's a higher power. We can be a higher power to our younger self, and God can be a higher power to our older self. And the gratitude doesn't deny the darkness. It just shines a small light inside of it. And sometimes that little light is enough to keep us standing. When Mama Rachel, when our matriarch Rachel passed away, the Midrash says that she chose to be buried on the side of the road. She's buried in Bethlehem, in Bethlehem. I visited her grave, her resting place many times. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to pray. And she chose to be buried there on the side of the road so that when her children, generations later, would go into exile, they would pass that road and she would be there to cry for them. And God promised her, your tears will bring your children home. And what keeps a mother standing, lying on the side of the road for 3,000 years, crying for us, praying for us? That is the job of a mother. A mother never leaves. A mother's always there. And this is the truth that she told Joseph, and this is the truth that she says to us every day. Hardship doesn't mean life is bad. Hardship means that God is giving you a role to play, that you are part of a bigger story, and that your light matters more than you know. And so today, in these upside down times, the gift of this portion, the gift of Mama Rachel, is that gratitude is not naive. It's a little bit of a shift. It's a little bit of a 180, somewhere maybe between 90 and 180. Just a little shift, a little turn. It's courageous. It's how we stay human. It's how we stay strong. It's how we stay connected to our source. And Mama Rachel, she says to us, find the good behind the trouble. Find the blessing inside the noise. Find the spark of holiness, the spark of God, the spark of goodness that's hidden inside the chaos. And when you do, you become the light. And what's amazing about the Kabbalistic view of darkness is that darkness doesn't exist. The moment you turn on the light, the darkness was never there. And so being that light and finding that light in the darkness means the darkness will not exist anymore. A constant reminder that hope is still alive. And my blessing to you today, my blessing to you this week, and my blessing to you as we come to a close of this thought is that may we live with the wisdom of Mama Rachel. May we live with her prayers. May we live with her shift, her focus shift. May we live with the strength of Joseph. And may Mama Rachel, who's been crying for 3,000 years, and all the tears she shed on the side of the road, may those tears turn into tears of joy as she sees a beautiful moment as her children come home, as the world enters a beautiful era, an era of peace, an era of Mashiach, an era, a time when all of this just all makes sense and all the chaos is no longer chaos anymore. It's just beauty, and it's just beautiful to see for all of us. And it all makes sense finally. With that, I wish you a beautiful Shabbat and a beautiful week. And for those of you who are here in person, I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And for those of you who are listening to this, join us in person so we can hear your thoughts too.